Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Tuesday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go down to our friends down in the Apple Isle, and of course, being with the Tasmanian Echidnas Volleyball team, and of course, they've got their semi-final and hopefully a grand final for the gold medal. Of course, this coming weekend at home at Kingborough in Tassie, and of course, we've got four very special guests. Join us right now. Tell us a bit about it. Thanks, Louis, for joining us.
Thank you.
No worries.
This weekend we're playing on Saturday, and that's our semi-final. Hopefully we can make it through to the final, but I've got my hopes for us girls. We'll see how we go. And we're playing Canberra Heat, and we have beat them before, and I think it's doable. So we'll see how we go. But I can't remember who the boys are playing. That's terrible.
So the boys will be playing Illawarra. We played them twice last weekend and took the gold for both of those games. So looking favourably at it, but again, it's a final. Anything can happen, but we're feeling optimistic, particularly with the home crowd.
Kai, I'm glad you mentioned about last week's game, because I believe the game last week in Illawarra was played outdoor, wasn't it?
Not quite outdoor, but bit of a different setup. There was on concrete, so that was a bit
right.
fun. That was a bit more taxing on the body when we were throwing ourselves around. But apart from that, it was all inside, and there was a few roof leaks too. So we had to evacuate one of the courts and go use another one. So that just some versatility thrown our way, where we had to adjust on the fly.
I'll get all four to introduce yourselves and what position all four you play on the court.
So my name's Kai, and I'm currently playing mainly as an outside hitter on the team, but I can play in the opposite role as well. But my main job is passing and hitting. Yeah.
My name's Ben, and I primarily play as the libero in the men's Echidnas team.
And I'm Thelma, and I'm a setter, as is Lucy.
I'm Lucy, and I'm also one of the other sitters.
Let's talk a bit about, now obviously Kai just mentioned before about how the men's went in Illawarra. How did the women's go in Illawarra?
So we actually, we played Canberra Heat and Illawarra twice. We ended up losing to Canberra this time, but it was a bye-setter, so it was very close in the pick set, not in our favour. But Illawarra, we played the first day, we won 3-0, and in the second day, we also won. Can't remember the score on that one, though.
3-1, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
You got the grand final at home, because you've been on the road to the ACT and obviously to the Illawarra of New South Wales in the last month or so. How good is it to be at home, and how was the team bonding was like on the road for last month?
I think it'll be really nice to play at home. Obviously, at this level, it's nice for our locals to watch a game like that, but also for our family to see probably what work we actually put in. Obviously, some of us, like Kai, his dad also plays, so he obviously understands that. But I think it'll be really nice, and maybe we might have some conditions that favour us in terms of not being quite as humid. We're to that in comparison, or just different lighting, or maybe perhaps even getting better night's rest.
In terms of the team bonding, though, I think especially with the men's, I believe the women's as well, we did have the days of the Saturday to do our own sort of stuff a bit and actually bond a bit more as a team. From the beginning of the season to now, I think everyone's gotten a lot more comfortable around each other, and even new people with old people. I think everyone has actually started to come together really well. So it'll be awesome to come into finals and be able to support each other even more.
I think the other thing that helps with both with our team and with the crowd as well is we're all definitely with the crowd. We bring them along for the ride. We're all flowing as one. I remember playing last year and having some representative games, and it was absolutely chaotic. I felt like there was an army of 100 of us versus the other team. And it's the same with when we're bonding within the team. We're all just very welcoming, quickly getting to know each other, and yeah, hanging out and taking each other's game to the next level.
How's the preparations been like for this week's Southeast Volleyball League finals?
I don't know. I think personally for me, they've been pretty full on. Like, I think my only day off this week is Thursday, but that's also including like other volleyball commitments. So any touch is a good touch, I think, and it's just getting all those reps in before the weekend. So it's definitely been like quite long and very hard, but it's going to pay off, I think, on the weekend. Definitely.
On my end, I guess it's all about keeping the mind and body fresh as well. So I think particularly with some of the experiences we've had, we've learned from previously, and yeah, we've really got to know how we find ourselves performing the best, and then how to get to that stage. So yeah, lots of rest and recovery in the right ways. Our strength and conditioning coach is great with helping with that, Lindsay. So yeah, feeling really prepared.
We'll start with the women's first because obviously you play first up against Canberra in the semi-final on Saturday. You mentioned before that you've already lost to them already. This past weekend just gone. What did you learn from that game heading to the is it the 3:30 game on Saturday?
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess that I think I kind of learned that they don't give up. Like, it was a different team to the one they versed previously, I think. I didn't travel that round, so I'm not too sure how different, but heard it was different. And I just think that, you know, they did fight quite hard. Like, we were up, then they were up, then we were up, and it was never like, oh, someone's certainly going to win. Like, you were always pushing, and I think that round they just happened to get the better of us. But, you know, I think that it's a learning curve, and obviously it just drives the hunger for us to beat them this round.
Yeah, and I also think in some ways we haven't hit our best as well. And teams like Canberra Heat, I kind of say that's their life. They've got training every day, and they've got one of the most experienced, well, probably the most experienced women's coach in Australian volleyball. Yeah, I think it's good that we're super competitive against them and can beat them, and I feel that we can this weekend easily. I take that back, not easily, but yeah, part of it, and that's nice to challenge.
I think it'll be in our favour that we have our full squad. Like, travelling rounds, we had plus or minus 3 people here and there. So I think with our full squad, we'll be able to really show them like what we're going to bring.
Yeah.
Now the men's, you play Illawarra in a very late game. I think it's the 7:00 game. Your game on Saturday for your semi-final. You mentioned before you've already beaten Illawarra the past weekend. Anything that you took out of that game heading towards the second semi-final?
So they never give up very much. They're pretty much consistent across all teams. They never give up. In the first day, we're up 2 sets, and they almost took another 2 sets off us. We luckily beat them in the 4th with some amazing work from some of our teammates. And shout out to the Kai, because he did some awesome saves there towards the end. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. It'll definitely help us being here at home, having that advantage of crowd and all that. Because yeah, as Kai was saying before, it's very much like you have 100 people with you, sort of thing, being able to support and be there. In terms of their sort of game style, I think we've learned quite a bit, able to take some notes and be able to hopefully implement them a bit more to help us a bit more strategically, I'd say.
You actually capped off the point brilliantly. Just the game styles of Tasmanian volleyball compared to the rest of the country is often quite different. And yeah, initially adjusting to that, I think we didn't quite get right, as Ben was alluding to earlier. But then the further we went on and the more rotations we tried, the other players we tried in different spots, it all clicked in the end. And I think, just that exposure, and then working on solutions from it, and then we'll be able to implement that into the final when it comes.
Hopefully both teams can get to the gold medal clash if your home crowd, which is actually pretty late, actually it's reasonably late. I think the men's play first before the women's in the gold medal clash, if it goes that far. How good would that be to play for hopefully a gold medal clash in front of your home crowd there at Kingborough Sports Centre?
Yeah, amazing. In some ways, similar feeling to Saturday because we have to play it out to get into the final. So sometimes, for example, I think semis can be just as exciting because you're really, trying to get there. The really good thing is obviously on Sunday we still play out for the bronze position if that happens. But obviously gold will be better. And I presume if that happens, it'll be against Pro Volley from Sydney. So another really good tight match, which will be good. Like it's obviously good to play competitive games throughout as well.
Yeah, and I think that it like for this team, for the women's team to have the year that we've already had, like we can't be much prouder. So like I think anything is such a progressive move from last year, like coming off no wins last year and now already having such a strong season. I think that it's just like so hungry. We're so hungry to win something else and just prove that, we are worthy of, I don't know.
Absolutely.
On the men's side, the other semi-final will most likely be the Canberra Heat moving through, but we won't assume anything yet. But I think it's a really good opportunity for the squad and certain individuals to, take that next step and take the opportunity that presents in front of them. I think we've got a really balanced squad. I think we've got depth in every position, and if one's dropping down for a bit, needs a rest, another one will come in and do that job, next man in type of thing. And I think as a cohesive effort, I think that'll be a really good opportunity for everyone on the team to do their thing in front of the home crowd.
You can take a bit of a break for a moment because the next couple of questions I've got to ask is for the other three, because obviously you've answered these questions before we had you on the show last month. So for the other three, tell us a bit about how you got involved in volleyball and why did you choose it?
Okay.
I honestly, so it was about grade 8 in school and it was a school sport and I thought, look, why not? I'll try it as a joke. And then so one of my school teachers happened to actually be like pretty good like in volleyball. So he referred me over to a few other people and it kind of just, got going from there. And then training programs with like Tim Medwin, and then Dad knew someone from work, so he passed me on to Scott Donovan, and then that just kind of all went from there. It's all just progressed. So
and I'm sort of similar. I started in grade 7 a million years ago, and Tim Medwin that Luce mentioned, he was actually our sports teacher at the time, and he was starting an athlete development program, and from there I gave up athletics because he said give it a go, give me a few trainings, and much like we mentioned in the beginning of our interview here today, it really I suppose like going from an individual sport to a team sport was very different for me, but you build that culture and you rely on your team, all that support. It became my main sport for a long time, obviously, and from there just went through the pathway of a lot of the programs, and here we are today.
Well, I'm a bit of an exception to most people's stories. Most people get into it from a schooling beginning. But my father's been a very big time member of volleyball in Tasmania for a while, so I was born into it from a young age. I guess I've just loved it all my life. I've been involved thick and thin. I'm kind of known as a bit of a volleyball nerd. But yeah, all the tips and tricks. Grown up with all the old style of play, all the new style of play. All the younger coaches through the juniors, to then now some of the older coaches. Yeah, all the all of the variants, I guess. And yeah, I mean, I've always been a very sporty kid. I had to actually pick volleyball over a couple other sports at one point, but yeah, the camaraderie and the cohesion and the I guess the level of tactics and brain brain skills used in volleyball as well really took an appeal to me, and yeah, I took off from there.
All three you mentioned right at the start what position you will play on the court. If you had a dream position where you'd like to convince your coaches to put you in for this finals coming up, whether that be honest.
Oh, look, I know I do like singing, but I think being a libero would be pretty cool. Like Ben literally just goes around the room. Like you see him flying every other second, and I just reckon that'd be like obviously hurt, but I think it'd be so fun to just I don't know be running and always on your toes, always on your feet.
Oh, I find that funny because as a setter, you are literally part of every play. So it makes me laugh that she said that. I actually love sitting, like I'd be fine, but obviously, yeah, I guess like getting to hit at times is also nice because you're the one that kills a ball. But yeah, obviously hitting would be yeah, a bit of fun, but I think I'm fine just where I am.
Yeah, well, most of my teammates would probably disagree with this based off of my difference of style of the skill and action of the skill, but I'd love to be a setter. I'm I'm not a indoor type of setter. I'm a beach type of setter, but still transfers over. But yeah, I really would enjoy the thinking style of the setting role and determining all of your offense and seeing what works and how to maximize your hitters.
What does the sport of volleyball mean to all three of you, and especially representing Tassie?
I don't know, like it's been a while. Like I've been playing volleyball for a while now, so it's kind of just almost consumed a lot of my life, like not in a bad way, in a good way. And I think that I know getting to represent Tassie in like junior stuff and even senior stuff by getting like a few points even here and there just like means so much to me that I'm even trusted on the court, like like that people are putting their trust in me to like not screw up and that I'm not like a burden, I'm not costing them points. It's a really like it's an honor, I think, and I'm really proud of how far it's come.
That's nice. What does it mean to me? Probably similar to Luce. Like I've played for a very long time. Obviously represented Tassie many times, so it's still nice to be able to do that. To probably challenge, obviously myself, but also our team. Probably obviously to grow and to produce results, but also really nice to just see what we can do, support each other, build that culture, and yeah, it's kind of nice to just see how far we can take it, which is always good. But I also think, just like we talked about our pathways, it's nice to be mindful. It's almost like a thank you to everyone that has probably coached us along the way, to show them, or be respectful of where we've come through as well, and to show them, that their time has not been wasted on us, so to say.
I'm a pretty passionate guy, so passion is the first word that comes to mind when I think about representing the state. But yeah, kind of what Thelma was getting at, a lot of pride. I've obviously, with my background, I've known quite a lot of people, often in a extensive way too, and I've got a lot of help from a lot of figures all the way through. And I suppose it's my way of giving back to them and going, look, thank you very much. I now have the opportunity to do this because I love it, and you've helped me get along to that spot. And yeah, like just involving the community as well, because there's so many lovely figures. We're a small but lovely community down here, and yeah, nothing better than seeing all that joy on all those people's faces when we are succeeding.
Bring Ben back into this next question. So for all four of you, what have you all learned from each other on and off the court? So I must start with the women's first. So what have you two learned from each other?
You go first.
Don't remember the bus. I don't know, just watching like Thelma set on court, it's just like it's very different the way that both of us, like me and Sammy, who you spoke to last time, set, I think. And it's just like watching her, like, just I don't know, it just kind of it's different, and it's good to watch and learn. Off court, I don't know, she's very, very wise. Not old people's way. Not in an old people's way. No, but I think she's just, I don't know, she's a very, very kind soul, very wise. I think she's got a lot of good things to, pass down.
Well, thankfully. I think that probably comes through with kind of what Kai was saying earlier too, about learning in different ways, like some of the newer and older techniques, because I've been playing for a lot longer than Luce has been alive, and probably a lot longer than both these boys have been alive. Yeah, I guess that's all part of the experience. But yeah, what have I learned? Yeah, I guess like it's nice to see that resilience as well. Never give up. But I think that also comes from a place of support. Like our team is very, not purposefully, but very mindful, or maybe we reflect well on it. And one thing that we always say is that if you feel supported, it does spur you on to actually probably try harder as well, not just for yourself, but obviously for your team. And it's respect for each other. So Lucy's definitely got that in her, which is really good.
Kai, what have you learned from Ben? And Ben, what have you learned from Kai on and off the court?
On the court with Benny, I've played with him for quite a while through the juniors and stuff, so I know him quite well. But just his heart on his sleeve mentality of how he plays his volleyball. There's no one else that I'd work harder for. I'd run through a brick wall for him. You know that whatever you do, he's going to go and back you up all the way. And it's exactly the type of volleyball that encapsulates the Echidnas, I think, is that we never say die, we go for everything, make it work. So yeah, on the court for that. Off the court, I would probably get to the point where he understands how people, I guess, A, get ready for a game, but B, unwind. And like some people need a lot of G'ing up when they're on the court, when they're off the court, keep them busy and happy. And some people just need their time away. He's really good at helping me understand when people need what, and how everyone can support each other the best to bring out the best in one another.
Oh, cheers, mate. Got me tearing up over here. About Kai. No, I said this about Jev, but it is also very true to Kai. He is a very, very rock-like figure in the team. Like, he'll always be there for everyone. He'll always be there on and off the court. If anyone's having a down patch, he'll always come up and be like, hey, man, it's all good. Go again. It's all right. He's also a very ride or die sort of guy as well, in that if you're chasing a ball, he's coming straight after. He wants it and will always, always, always try and follow. Off the court, he's just an amazing person to be around. Always a good laugh, comes up with some good jokes here and there. But yeah, he's just a great person all in all. And yeah, I've known him for quite a long time as well, and there's a reason why we're still friends.
I know, Ben, you've already answered this question, but I'll get you to answer this same question again. You might as well give your local state league team a bit of a shout out, and how did you fare throughout the 2023 season?
So I played with Phoenix. We came second behind the Demons, but it was an amazing season. Had lots and lots of fun. Yeah, next year, looking for that gold. I'm going to keep going, keep pushing, keep training.
State league for me this year was a bit different. I actually played with a new club with a younger team with Vikings. Um, we finished third at the end of the domestic rounds. It was a unique experience, but I definitely learnt a lot myself, but also really enjoyed it. Just with a new system, a new coach, new players. There was a lot of young and impressionable players, so it was a leadership opportunity for me. And I think I took that with both hands, which was nice. I think most people could see the effect that I was having on the young kids on the court. And yeah, so overall, really, really pleasurable experience.
Selma and I actually played on the same team this state league. We played for Boss. We also finished third. But in saying that, we had pretty much an entirely new team. So we play kind of with a mix of two teams, and every now and again we'll swap and chop and change. So this season we happened to be together and we split the load, opposite setting type stuff. And yeah, I think we had a lot to learn from each other, and I think that the actual team culture was quite positive. There was no one ever dropping their heads for more than a point, and if it wasn't
not the end of the world.
Yeah,
that's what I was referring to before, with just a supportive nature that runs through our team. And yeah, it was we essentially have two clubs that train as one squad, and then we split as we feel when it comes to different competitions. And our team was a little bit of a mix this year. A couple of us I hadn't played for 3 years, so it was nice to come back. And a couple of newbies that hadn't played at all with us. So yeah, we did really well considering, and just missed out on the final, but that's okay. Still played really well and learned a lot.
Finish on a couple light-hearted questions about your Echidna team. Firstly, who had the most embarrassing moments on the court this past season? This current season, and what was it?
Not to throw her under the bus, but there was a serve from Lucy Allwright that barely made the 3-meter line. Yeah, she was a little bit not the happiest with that one. It was fine though, because she'd gotten 3 or 4 really good serves and a couple aces before that, so it was acceptable, but definitely great stuff.
You go first, and then I'll add on to you.
That must be.
As much as I hate to say it, I've had very much a big blunder in the first game on the Sunday morning. One of my teammates, I can't remember who it was on the court at the time, but they made a miraculous dig. But I wasn't sure whether to push the ball over because it was close to the net, or whether to put it up to one of my teammates. And I've jumped up and then got my hands tangled and just launched the ball completely sideways up in the air. No one can get it. Terrible technique, and yeah, it was a bit of a shambles. So I think they'll be making the highlight reel at the end of the year for the club, not for the right reasons in my eyes, but so be it.
Funnily enough, I think that is the one I settled on in my head before you even started talking, because I made that miraculous dig fly.
What a letdown.
So I've got to. I'm sorry, Kai. It's got to be that one, mate.
Oh, it happens, mate. Part of the game.
About the falling short by short of the 3-meter line. So how far short was she when she served?
Let's just say it didn't reach the 3-meter line.
Oh, okay.
Let's just say I actually had my head turned, and then I just see the ball drop a little too close to where I was standing.
Now, who's the comedian, the best singer, and internet TikTok/Be Real?
Oh, I think that's easy on our team. Best singer is
Natalia. Yes.
She likes
she won't admit it,
writing a few songs as well.
She actually was dedicated a song to Kai's dad.
Yes.
So
you might get that out of her one day. And obviously Lucy Allwright and Erin Fudge, they're both our little TikTokers. It's funny seeing them dancing sometimes in the toilets. And
median.
I don't know if we have media on our team.
I think we all kind of like, there'll be like one thing that starts and then everyone just adds on like piles on top and it all just feeds.
Yeah.
Basing off last time, in terms of any TikTokers, I don't think half our team knows what TikTok is. But the most social media sort of person in the team in that sort of sense would maybe, I'd reckon, be Max, I'd say. Unless Kai can think of anyone else. He's at least, I think, the most active on social media probably in our team. In terms of singer, I said last time Thorpe, but
yes,
hearing the angelic voice of Joey on the bus traveling to Wollongong, I reckon he's got to take that one for this one. In terms of comedian, Kai, I'll let you, unless you've got some more people. I can't decide on someone for a comedian right now.
Yeah. You're bang on with Joe. He controls the playlist most of the time, but so whenever you get him rolling on whatever he's got going, or particularly a bit of Michael Bolton, if you ask him about Michael Bolton, he'll be a very happy chappy. Comedians, I guess we don't really have a specific one. We've got quite a few deadpan guys, so they don't say much, but when they do pipe up, it's very witty and shooting people back down in their place if they're having a bit of a muck around. But yeah, I think everyone has their own areas that they shine in. Some people say some stupid stuff and get themselves in trouble and then called out on that sense. I could be one of them, maybe. Yeah. But yeah, it's a very good overall dynamic, I guess.
You mentioned about the singer just a moment ago in the men's team, and I know I saw the smile from the women's team just a moment ago about this same question. So I'm sure you're on the same bus. So how good was the singing? Okay.
We were on a different bus, but we decided early on that we would have a collective playlist. So we all had some bangers that were new, old, all of the above, like anything was playing. So it was a very different vibe to the boys' bus, I assume. But yeah, we did actually have Waka Waka. And that got pretty much the entire bus. Mostly Natalia was living that one up.
Tell us how. Sorry, I've got to put this. Obviously, the drive from Wollongong to Sydney is about an hour and a half. So, how much of the city do you see for from Wollongong to Sydney?
Counting for the change in music, probably about an hour and 25 minutes, I'd say. So yeah, I mean, I was going pretty hard. I was just enjoying myself, having a good time traveling. Not too sure about Kai. He was on a different bus to me on that one. How was it in there? Was it quite good vibes still?
Yeah, a bit more relaxed. But the playlist was very good. But yes, it was more of a general, more mellow vibe, but it was still a very good one. Different type of playlist, wasn't a real hype playlist, but everyone was getting along with it.
Do either of you have a pre-game superstition or ritual? Ben, you don't have to answer this one unless you want to.
I do have another one, but I'll let them go first.
I don't really have any superstitions. Just I don't know, well hydrated. There's a bit of a joke about my shoelaces needing to be done off a million times, but
Never double not
that's mid-game, not pre. Yeah, not really, just good warm up.
I would say that mine, like on the way to the stadium, I always have like a good playlist on, and there's always like one song, like I'll have a phase where it's one good song and I have to listen to it before, and then I'm in the zone, so I'm good to go.
Okay, before we go to Ben and Kai, Lucy, what particular song is that at the moment?
Oh, look, at the moment, it's probably a bit of a random one, but it's Cinema by Skrillex.
Okay.
Bit of a random one, but yeah.
Okay. No, you go first.
So as I said last time, one of my superstitions was always having a Subway before playing.
That's
still
right.
true to that. But another one that I do have, it's more so at home, not traveling or anything like that. But on my desk, I have a little plush unicorn that I just pat every time that I leave. When I leave, got my bag packed, I give it a pat.
I don't have too many superstitions. I keep it all loose and stuff. Maybe if you count doubling up on socks, I always double up on socks on game day. Um, just a comfort thing.
Okay.
But I guess the team vibe pre-game superstition is they get into me about my grunting when I spike quite a bit. I'm just trying to play my warm up and do my thing, but they're all geeing me up and mucking around. So I guess that's a team superstition before the game. It keeps everyone feeling loose and united and happy about it all. So
Have you told any teammates to stop worrying about your grunting during games?
oh yeah, look, I have said a few things, but it's just one of those things that comes out naturally all the time. It's just organic. It just happen to have my mouth open when I jump. And yeah, if it provides people a laugh and all that, then yeah, I'm happy for people to go with it. I'll cop it on the chin.
Okay. So, what would be your advice to people that should head down to Tassie to support the team?
Wear jumpers. Wear lots of clothing. It can always be cold, even if it's 16 degrees or something. For us, that's really warm, so you'd probably want to pack a jumper.
Bring Uggs, bring a blanket, anything to rug up. Kingborough gets cold, really cold.
Cushions.
The only other thing I'd add is maybe some earplugs, because if we get the crowd going and up and about, then you might not be enjoying yourself if it's a bit loud for you next to you.
Okay.
Either that or pick your seating really well.
Really, I think, yeah. Advice: be loud. Come and be ready to be loud. Yeah, not much for me.
Yeah, domestic fans just get ready to have your emotions played with a bit. We'll ride our lows, ride our highs. The game will always fluctuate. But yeah, just be ready to be fully involved. One of our main things is bring everyone along for the ride. So be glad that you're a part of it and get in amongst it.
All for you. Thank you so much for getting up some of your time to join us. We'll be right behind the Tassie team from here in Melbourne, and wish I was down there this week to support the team. But best of luck. Hopefully that you can get on top and beat, especially our neighbours from up in New South Wales and ACT, and beat them down in Tassie on the weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you, mates.
No worries, because if you want to get down there, Saturday is the one down at Kingborough Sports Centre. Of course, we'll put all the details up on how to support the Tassie Echidnas in the semi-finals and the grand final. There's more on the Smash Sport Show right after this day go away here on the 10th year celebration.